You are a true progressive. You say it all the time. During the most recent debate, you said that you are so progressive that people think it makes you unelectable.
Right.
Why are people afraid of progressive politics? Why do they think that it can't win?
I don't think they really believe that. I think that honestly that they're just trying to preserve their position, preserve their proximity to power and their privilege. And they know if working people got together across nationalities and race and zip codes, that they would be defeated, that they would lose. So the best thing for them to do is keep us apart, keep us hopeless and afraid. Any fight that you get in, you may lose, right? That's the downside of fighting, right? But if you don't fight, you definitely lose. So the reality is we've been losing because we refuse to fight collectively and together. So I don't think they believe that. I think ultimately they know that the policies that progressives fight for are universal policies, and people agree with those policies, except if you're the super wealthy, right? And so we got to push back against that and show them that not only can we win, that we can govern.
And I know you don't like to say that, New Jersey went further right in the last election, but Donald Trump did earn more votes, and so there are Democrats who did vote for Donald Trump or stayed home. What is your message to those voters who either voted for Trump or didn't vote at all to get them to vote for you?
Well, I think it's time for us to do something big. I think people stayed home because they disillusioned. It's not that the message they don't trust the messenger. They don't think we're going to do anything or their lives are going to change. Some of them even voted for Trump out of defiance, like that they're so angry and upset with the Democratic Party, they're going to give their vote to somebody else. I don't think that people really understand what they did. And as you can see what Donald Trump is doing now, he's making it very clear that all of us are his enemies, and that he's not leaving anybody untouched or any stone unturned. He's coming after everybody. It means that we have to get together collectively and use our collective voice, our power, our energy, our vote to not just push back against Donald Trump, but change this country and the state into a place that you want to see. Let's get off defense and play a little offense. Yeah. A lot of us are playing defense. We're defending ourselves, and when we can't defend ourselves, we just quit. Right? I'm not a quitter. I'm from Newark. I'm a fighter. We're not just defending ourselves. We got a few plays we want to run, and we're going to score. And I think that people need to join a movement where we begin to be on offense and not just take blows from people, but to start to distribute some of them blows ourselves.
Lawmakers in the Democratic Party are trying to earn favor with Trump voters or people who feel disillusioned, and they've taken the stance of moving to the center, moving to the right. For example, abandoning trans people and throwing them under the bus.
Right.
Is that a worthwhile approach for Democrats to take?
No, I think it's stupid. I think honestly that these people have controlled the discussion and the debate so much that because we're on defense, we're arguing points that don't even make sense. We're arguing about trans folks in sports when it's less than 1% of folks playing those sports. Like, that's not even a thing. You know what I mean? To do that in order to make people in the trans community our enemies, to distract us from why they rob us. We have an enemy, and the enemy is the trans community. The enemy is immigrants. The enemy is black women. The enemy is women who want the right to choose. So we create all of these divisive kind of things, and the Democrats are on defense, defending each community over and over again as they attack us all, as opposed to going on offense and bringing us all together to fight for the things that we need. You let them say the foolishness they're going to say. You can't stop them from saying the lies. And I've learned that over the time. When I was arrested, Fox News, they got on TV and said that we stormed the place. Even after they dropped the case, I heard somebody go on the news again and say, oh, they stormed the place. They're going to lie. And they're going to continue to lie. There's nothing you can do about it.
I heard you tackled someone. Is that true?
No. At the end of the day, they're going to lie, and there's nothing we can do about that. Right? The only thing we can do is deliver the truth and build on what we have. You can't fight these people with their lies. You can't get into the arena with them based on the rules that they've created. We got to play by our own rules, create our own game, and move forward in that direction and leave them on their own. Donald Trump makes very little sense anyway, right? And the things that they're talking about make very little sense. If this guy can win an election because he says he's going to not tax your tips, right? And that becomes a thing, that means that Democrats are in bad shape. We're not on offense. You shouldn't be worried about your overtime. You should be worrying about making a living wage so you don't have to work overtime, right? Yeah. You shouldn't be worrying about your tips. You should be worrying about getting the same amount of salary that everybody else gets so you don't have to live off of tips, right? And the Democrats should be pushing those things and not fighting him about, oh, he ain't going to do this about the tips. The hell with the tips. right? I don't care if he doesn't tax your overtime. The reality is we want you to make enough money so you can be home with your kids, so you don't have to work overtime.
Just to follow up on that really quickly, do you think that Democrats should be fact-checking the things that Donald Trump is saying and running on? As someone who has worked in the service industry for 15 years, I went to Rutgers University, I worked at World of Beer on George Street. Servers are not claiming cash tips. So this big legislation, this big promise, it's not changing anything. So anyone who works in the service industry who read that legislation, nothing is changing for them. Should Democrats be telling people?
Oh, absolutely. But what Democrats should be, not only that, they should be saying that we don't want you to make money off tips, that you should get the same salary as every other worker in the country, right? That is stronger than saying I'm going to not tax your tips. If you say, look, what he's saying is a lie, but not only is it a lie, we want to make sure that you are making a living off of something other than your tips, right? That's what we should be pushing. That's why we should go further, and people gravitate towards that. But what we're doing is being silent, and we're just playing defense. And I think journalists and writers and folks like you should definitely fact check all of these people, because the media allows these people to say whatever they want to say. I was talking to some reporters, and I told them, you guys were out there at Delaney Hall.
I was out there.
So you let these people say all manners of things on the press, and you was there. You know they lying. I'm saying, I was telling them you were already there. You were there. I told the person from News 12. You were standing right next to me. Like, you got the whole video. Like, you should have put the video out, did an expose, talked about this, so they could see that these people are liars, right? But instead, we let these people get on Twitter, on social media, on Fox News over and over and over again and say things that were lies, then come to us and say, what do you think about what they said? Well, what the hell you mean, what do you think about what they said? You was there, you saw me. You know this is not true. You should be saying, well, we heard them lie, and so what do you say about the lies that they had to say? Look, the Constitution defends the freedom of the press, but the press has to understand as well that they have to stand on truth, on objectivity, and tell it the way they see it, right? And not be bent by competing with people on social media or trying to get likes or trying to get this or trying to get that, or be beholden to corporate interests